Welcome to Mustang Valley Sanctuary. These are our chickens, and you're probably wondering why my fingers are blue. We rescued a new Mustang and we named her Hope. She's a 12-year-old gentled Mustang, and she had an abscess that blew out both heel bulbs. So it's a pretty serious injury. We're hoping that she makes it. That's why her name is Hope. So every day I have to wrap it and pack it and spray it with blue coat, and so I end up with a purple manicure every day. Come, I'll introduce you to her. This is Hope. Hi, baby. Oh. And she already knows me. She knows I'm trying to help her. Oh. I have a splint in the driveway that we just got. It's called a Kinsey splint. The abscess blew out her heel bulb, which means her hoof is actually separated from her heel. And every time she takes a step, there's little micro tears. So we have to prevent that from happening and give the hoof an opportunity to grow out. So as you can see, my bandaging on the back there, it's actually holding the hoof to the foot. So this is sweet little Hope. Hi, baby girl. She's super sweet. This is her Freeze brand. All of the Mustangs that are rounded up by the BLM get a Freeze brand. This U stands for the United States of America. These two denote her age. I actually have a printout that'll show you, so you can actually learn to read how old the horse is, where they're from. This would be the state. So she's from, I think it was Nevada when we cross-referenced it. So each symbol corresponds to a symbol on this chart that they have. And that represents a number, which you cross-reference with what state. So it's long and convoluted, but that's how we know who they are, and that's kind of like her social security number. Oh. Anytime a horse tries something new, that's what they do. Was that delicious? She's like, oh, I need more of that muffin. Alright, so my vet was here the other day to look at her and discuss a plan of action. The injury she has is not a normal injury. It's pretty rare. And we had the farrier here this morning to cut off the toes. So this is called a Kinsey splint. So her foot will go in here, and these will wrap around her legs, and it'll prevent the hoof from separating. Problem is, when we put it on her now, we can't get her hoof all the way in there. So over the next week or two, we're just going to trim little by little and hopefully get her whole foot in there. Right, baby? Yeah, you want to see that? You put it down right there. There you go, baby. When I put it on her, she lifted her leg completely out to the side, like, I don't know what this is. She's a good girl. She's so funny in the evening at like 5 o'clock. She gallops that way and gallops that way. What are you doing? You want to try muffin? I have been breaking up only little pieces of one muffin because I want to eat them. She likes it. Let's see if she does it's the Flowman maneuver. I can never say it. Where they put their nose up. Oh, is that delicious? Do you like that, baby girl? Yeah. Yeah. At night, we keep them in a small area, like 7 acres. And during the day, they have access to 137 acres. So right now I have 15 horses. We were Mustang Valley Ranch, but because I'm doing so much rescuing from the kill pen because of what's happening with the BLM, we are now Mustang Valley Sanctuary. So there's actually two nonprofits here. We're Mustang Valley Sanctuary and we're Mustangs and Heroes. I generally do my veteran work on Fridays. Veterans come and they work with the horses in what I like to call Mustang assisted learning. It's based off of Basil Vanderkolk's work, The Body Keeps the Score, where they talk about how your body holds on to trauma. And the horses are really instrumental in helping people really get in touch with themselves and let go of things that they may be holding. But Mustang Valley Sanctuary is dedicated to first rescuing unhandled wild Mustangs from slaughter. There's a lot going on right now with the BLM, with rounding up horses, and they haven't done an audit. We don't know how many horses are left out there, and the land is actually being leased to ranchers. It's a big issue. It's an environmental impact. It's a watershed issue. It's corruption for the benefit of few ranchers, and it doesn't. All of this money is being spent and padding the pockets of ranchers, and it's not benefiting the American economy. If these ranchers were feeding the poor, if these ranchers were helping to decrease the price of meat, but there's no benefit to us, the taxpayers, and we have to, as a nation, as a people that have a voice, stand up and insist on accountability on the part of the BLM for the corruption, for the mismanagement of our public lands. These are our lands, and we need to protect them. We need to protect the water. We need to protect the ecosystem. The cows that are grazing there, there's 9 million cows, that doesn't include their babies, that are grazing on our public land for the benefit of a few ranchers. They're paying $1.34 a month per head for each cow. That doesn't include their babies. They're degrading the foliage on the side of the riverbanks. They're destroying the fish habitat because they're staying in the water. They're drinking the water. They're defecating in the water. Each cow drinks between 30 and 50 gallons of water a day. That's surface water. So that water, where we're having a drought out west, that's where all of this BLM land is. If we get those cows off that land, that water will help regenerate the economy, the environment. That water will help rebuild an ecosystem that is just so precious. We need the fresh air to breathe. We can't do that if our lands are desecrated. I can't imagine ever living anywhere else. I'm nestled amongst the mountains. The little hamlet of West Fulton that I live in is full of amazing, wonderful people and things to do. Hiking and wildlife and beautiful waterfalls, beautiful people. Really, the people here are part of what makes it so amazing. My barn, I am told, was built in the 1700s. It's all hand-hewn beams. There's been a couple of extensions, one I put on in the back. And when I moved here, there was no fencing, there was no stalls, so I've built all the stalls and put up all the fencing, and it's still a work in progress. The building over there was 3 garage bays, and last year I turned that into more stalls and put an extension on the front. My home is actually considered a passive solar earth shelter house, so I live very green. I try to leave as little of a footprint as I can. It's passive solar because the front is all glass, and there's this sunroom in the front, and it's south facing. There's deciduous trees, so in the winter time you have full sun because the trees lose their leaves, and it heats up the sunroom. And then at night you drop the insulated blinds, you open up the doors, and that heat just radiates into the house. It's beautiful. And during the summertime, those trees, they have their leaves, so you have full shade. The ambient temperature in the house is 65 in the summer. So people walk in and they're like, oh, shut the door so you don't lose your air conditioning. I don't have air conditioning. The house is underground in the back, but you would never know. It just looks like a ranch. I also do what's called Mustang encounters. So depending on your level of comfort, and you could go onto my website, if you Google Mustang Valley Sanctuary, even if you Google Mustang Valley Ranch, it'll send you to the sanctuary website, and you can contact me through that. You could also call the farm, 518-827-7107. If you call, I'm usually down at the barn, so it may take me a day to get back to you. But Mustang Encounter, depending on your level of comfort with horses, depending on the horse's level of comfort with you, will determine what we do. So they're all handcrafted, and you actually get to interact with the Mustangs, maybe meet the baby. I'm very careful about who I let near the baby, just trying to keep her safe. Hi, Mama Bear. Aww. Yeah, Michaela was pregnant, and you can see the freeze brand there, and in the kill pen. I think she wound her way to the kill pen because she doesn't have lovely conformation. Her feet are not perfect. And that's part of the problem with the roundups, is they don't select the horses that'll be fit for domestication. If she was out in the wild, that wouldn't be a problem, because she'd be running on rocks, she'd be running across terrain. I wouldn't have to trim her. Yeah, so this is the herd that we allow out. You have Cedar. He's the only horse who's not a rescue. He was my competing horse. I've had him since he's 6. He's 26 now. And then Sabrina, she's the rest of them are all rescues. So Sabrina is the next one. She's not a thoroughbred. Back this way next to Flora is Rosita. She's 3. She's from Nevada, Mustang. Behind her is Mr. Quinn. He's a 12-year-old Mustang. He had a lot of training on him, and his owner was going to euthanize him because she said he was aggressive. He's a great horse. Next to them, the one with the big white and brown spots is Jolie. And then the little guy there is Jackson. Horses have taught me so much about myself. Patience is probably one of the biggest things. Flexibility. And they taught me to pay attention, that we should always be aware of our surroundings. Sometimes we go in and we want to get something done, especially when I'm heading down to Long Island to see my granddaughter or my grandsons or my new granddaughter. If I'm going down to Long Island, the horses know I'm in a rush. They sense it, and everybody acts crazy. Nobody goes in the right stall for feeding. It takes me twice as long. So it teaches you to really check in with yourself, know where you stand, be flexible. As I said, I could walk in the round pen and say, okay, I'm going to get the halter on today, and maybe that day it's just not in the cards. So it also teaches you to be empathetic, to listen. Whether or not somebody's speaking or not, they're telling you something. Whether it's their body posturing, the way they're moving, they're communicating. And sometimes, even when we're talking to other people, we have to be aware of what they're saying, because a lot of times what's coming from people's heart is not what's coming out of their mouth. So it just teaches you to pay a little bit more attention. So they've taught me a lot. I feel most at home when I'm amongst my herd.
The show you are watching has been produced by SACC.TV. SAC-TV is a not-for-profit organization that provides educational programming, seeking to enrich communities by producing shows on culture, science, health, the arts, and more. If you enjoy what you've seen, visit us on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe, like, share, and pass the word around. For more information and to see the latest shows, visit www.sac.tv or contact us as director@sac.tv or by phone at 518-831-9145. For now, back to our program, and stay tuned for more great shows.
With the sanctuary, I want to create awareness. I want to fix the problem. I am going to win this fight. We are going to win this fight. I'm not alone in this. There are so many people that are advocating for the horses, and there's so many people that are out there making sure these horses do not go over the border of Mexico. But we all need to be together on this. We need to vote for the SAFE Act. We need to call our representatives and say, vote for the SAFE Act. It's an amendment to the SAFE Act that will make the transportation of horses for slaughter, for human consumption, illegal. You have to help them. They have no voice. They have no voice, so we have to speak for them. They shouldn't be torn from their family and their friends and where they live, their homes, and shipped off for slaughter. It's not right. It's not right. We do have to speak up for those that have no voice. They do have emotions and feelings. Teach children to respect the environment. Show adults that there's another way to communicate. And then change things systemically. Change the way that the BLM does stuff. Not saying that everybody in the BLM is bad. I am saying that there is a lot of bad in it. And I want to remove the corruption from it. I want accountability. I want them to be accountable for what they're doing. And I want to change the way things are done so that our environment can regenerate itself, that these horses can live where they're supposed to live, where they run 15 miles just to graze a little bit and run 15 miles. They're healthier that way. That's the way that God created them, and that's the way that they should live. And they do have a pretty good life here, and I feel very blessed and honored to be able to give that to them. But certainly I would rather see them out on their lands, out west with their family. Mr. Quinn. Here. Not mine, right here.
Not from me, you big silly head. Is that delicious?
He's like, oh my. This is Mr. Quinn. He's a good guy. Here's his freeze bread. He's a good guy. Isn't he a good guy? He's a good man. Yes, he is. He's so good. Right? Yeah. He's a guy. He's a good boy. This one, you see the 7556 on her butt? That's what I was talking about, the 7556. That means that she was supposed to be in long-term holding. This is Shakira. She's a baby. Oh my goodness, they love the muffins. No fighting, guys. There's their brand. She's not quite 2 yet. She's probably, a year and a half. When she came here last year, she was missing all of the skin on this side of her body. You can't be that crazy, girl. You can't have all the muffins. You can't have all the muffins. This is Rosita. She's just about big enough. She's going to be an amazing horse. Oh, and you've got Gian directly behind you. Look behind you. You want a muffin? I'll share with you. I'll share with you. There you go, baby girl. Yeah. You want to show your freeze brand? Right here. Here's her freeze brand. She's got the shape of the United States on her right side. You got to see this. If only the United States was on the side of the Mustang. But look, complete with Florida. Isn't that cute? These horses really belong out on their land. It's their land. We have no right to be helicopter rounding them up. The atrocities that happened during the helicopter roundup, the injuries, I'll show you. One of the horses that went out there, her name is Star. Star. She has a brand on her butt, an extra brand, and that means that she's supposed to be in long-term holding. I don't know how she got out of long-term holding and into the kill pen, but she's now in my care, and she's got scars across her whole face, from her lip all the way up, across the top of her face. She's got scars all over her. I can only assume it's from the roundup. If you watch the roundups, you will see these horses are fighting for their lives. Mothers are aborting their foals. Foals are run so hard that their hooves actually come off. Sorry. Babies are trampled. They round up these horses in the summer months. Look at little Elena. You look at the size of her to the size of her mom. If she was rounded up right now by a helicopter and was in a total flight mode, and the entire herd was in a flight mode, she would be trampled. She would be injured. Horses show up with broken legs. It's not right, and we need to demand accountability. We need to allow the horses to stay where they belong. If we need to cull the herd, there's PZP, which is a birth control that's done by DART. Is it the best method? It's better than helicopter roundup. These horses should not be going to slaughter. The goal here is to just respect the land, teach people about what's going on with the Mustangs, create an awareness about our environment and about those things that are really important. Life is important in all forms. Whether they speak, don't speak, whether it's 4 legs or 2 legs, we all have rights, we all have feelings and families, and we all just need to respect each other and care about our environment. So incredibly important. So here at Mustang Valley, we do foraging. We learn to appreciate everything that God has given us, because it truly is a gift.
Well, welcome back.
I'm still trying to bake the muffins. But finally, I think we're finished. I hope you enjoyed our show today. If you would like to make an order or donate muffins to charity, then please go to the website listed below. With every muffin order, we donate muffins to the charity of your choice. I call it giving your dough to charity. I also encourage you to donate directly to the featured charity today by going directly to our website and getting their information. Thank you very much for watching, and keep on dancing through life by giving to others through love. Let me finish baking these muffins, and see you next time.